What's going on, everyone, man? Welcome back to the channel. So as you guys know, iOS 13 is coming out in a couple of days, and this video actually has nothing to do with that. I figured before we even go delve deep and I drop like 300 reviews of iOS 13, I might as well take it back and do another top 5 video. So I want to turn this into a series, but I probably won't because I'm super lazy. But these are different from my double I swides that I usually do, so those is it still worth it, those full reviews. This is not a full review of the iPhone 8 in 2019. All I'm doing is just highlighting the top 5 reasons why you would pick up an iPhone 8 or why you would want to, whatever. And I notice a lot of these key features are similarities between like a lot of the other iPhones too, so there's really not too many differentiating factors, so I'm really trying to be picky here. But a lot of these things do overlap, but it's really not that big of a deal. But man, the first thing and one of the separating factors between an iPhone 8 and a lot of the other iPhones that have been released, not the newer ones, but the ones before it, was actually wireless charging. The iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10 were the first iPhones to bring wireless charging, which is a pretty crazy thing. I mean, I feel like they were many years behind. They should have done this forever ago. And at that point, I mean, it was kind of a feature. I mean, it definitely is, but because they were so behind, a lot of people kind of overlooked it. But nonetheless, this is still a wonderful feature to have. And again, it's one of those features that not a lot of the other iPhones, at least the past ones before, had that capability. There were cases and stuff that offered it, but that is definitely a really cool thing. And I'm glad Apple brought it at least to the iPhone 8 series of devices. Now the second thing is actually something that I've kind of mentioned on all the other iPhone videos too, but it's that super premium build quality. This phone just still feels like a flagship phone, and what's interesting is that I even said the same thing with the iPhone 7 and iPhone 6s, but the one thing you have to keep in mind is that the iPhone 8, because of that wireless charging, Apple had to put a glass back on that device, so this device feels a lot more premium. There's only one con with it, and it's like a little bit more easy to break. As you can see, my iPhone 8 and also my iPhone 8 Plus, those have cracked backs, and it's kind of annoying. My iPhone 8 actually has a cracked front as well, but I definitely think it makes the device look so much more premium. It just feels way more premium, and it's one of those things where like you can definitely go get a case and cover it up, but I've seen a lot of people just rock it bare just because it looks and just feels so much more of a device when it doesn't have a case on it. So nonetheless, this device, the build quality is very, very good. And the third thing is kind of also associated with the build quality, but more so the size of the device. I've seen a lot of people say the iPhone SE was too small, the iPhone 10 was too big, but the iPhone 8 and all those series before, the 6s and the 7, those devices are very, very good in the hands. It feels like a very good device in the hands because it's not too crazy. I mean, if you want the bigger one, go for the XS Max, the 10R, or even the iPhone 8 Plus. But these devices have that perfect feel in the hand, and that's why even some people are saying the iPhone SE 2 might come in the body of the iPhone 8. So even if you do get an iPhone 8, you're not necessarily going to feel like you have a super outdated device, because if Apple does refresh the iPhone SE, it might just end up coming in the body of an iPhone 8. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I do find that pretty interesting, so that's definitely a cool thing right there. Now the next thing is not really associated with anything, but the iPhone 8 has a tremendous camera within it. The back camera is really, really good. The front camera even is not that bad at all still. I mean, this phone only came out in 2017, so this year it'll only turn 2 years old, so it's not an old phone at all. But it's definitely one of those phones that I think brings a very, very good camera for the price, for the series that it came in, because it just was kind of on the backbone a little bit. The iPhone 10 kind of overshadowed it at the time, but I still think the iPhone 8 is a tremendous device, even in terms of the camera quality. You still have a ton of features that Apple brings. You don't have portrait mode, but that's still really not even that big of a deal. There are a couple apps that can kind of mimic it in a way, but nonetheless the camera on the iPhone 8 is tremendous. One last thing I want to hit on, these are like 3 different things, okay? So the first thing is IP67 dust and water resistance, so that just adds a little bit more ruggability or whatever that's called for your device, so if you're going to throw water on it or anything, you'll be fine. The second thing is Force Touch. The Force Touch on this device, I mean, it's really, really cool. Apple's planning on taking it away in future devices, but at least this phone still has that capability. The third thing I want to hit on is Touch ID. This phone does have a fingerprint sensor, and whether you like it or not, it could be a pro, it could be a con. Me personally, I do like it. I like having a fingerprint sensor on my device. This was the last iPhone to bring a fingerprint sensor, so those 3 things I kind of compiled it into one because it's kind of smaller features, not necessarily crazy ones, but man, those are my top 5 or 7 reasons as to why you should go pick up an iPhone 8 in 2019. I'm only looking at the positives in this video, but if you guys have any other positives, or you currently own an iPhone 8 and you used it and you have positive things to say about it, leave it down in the comment section below. It would really mean a lot, but man, that is pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section as well. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.